Today, we're going to be taking a look at set 2258 Ninja Ambush within the LEGO Ninjago theme. Now first, before we move on into the minifigures, I want to start by saying that the actual set is not canon to the show, so I'm going to be reviewing it a little bit differently from the minifigures. The actual minifigures I will be comparing to the show. Now, let's get into the minifigures. Starting with the Red Ninja Kai, working from top to bottom, starting at his face, this particular scar right here is not prevalent within the show, meaning it's not canon. There is an indication of a small scar on his eyebrow in the show, but nothing to the degree of showing this line, any of this line work. However, in images of him doing spinjitzu through this little mask hole, you can see that he does have these scars within those images. So while not totally accurate to the show, it is still accurate to potentially, well, not potentially, but to the art that was used within the show. Now looking at his torso is accurate. The sashes, however, are not entirely accurate. While the sashes are present, the left sash is larger than the right sash, but it's not that big of an issue. Looking at his side, he is supposed to have this little rope come around here and, you know, wrap around him essentially and come towards the back. However, the back has no printing whatsoever, which is kind of a shame, but I can understand why, as this, you know, line was this was the first wave of this line, so they were unaware of how it would sell in the long run. But he does not have any other printing on him whatsoever, no arm printing, no extra face printing, nothing to that nature. So this is Kai, and here he is fully geared up in his ninja outfit. And for Kai as well, he's given the sword because he wields the sword of fire in the show. For the antagonist of the set, we have Bonsai, a member of the Skulkin army. And he does not appear in this form in the actual show, nor is he named. In the show, he actually has a piece of armor, as do all Skulkin shown within the show. For the most part, everything on his figure is perfectly fine. They seem to have gotten the face correct. I'm perfectly fine with these little markings here, kind of to show cracks on the actual body. And then this particular color is correct. Now this figure does not come with any type of back printing or leg printing, just for obvious reasons, unless you want to consider this leg printing, but I do not because it's still part of the torso. And they also got these legs here done correctly. Overall, it's a good figure. The only complaint I really have is the fact that it does not have its little armor pieces here. I wish they would have included that with him, because at no point in the show do we see him without it. And then we also have his weapon here, which is a bone axe, and it's perfectly fine. I enjoy it. I like the luster that shows on it. It's perfectly good weapon for a perfectly good minifigure. Moving on to the actual set, you can see that it has two parts. You have this main portion right here, and then the side portion. Now, taking a look at the side portion first, we have the Scythe of Quakes, which is one of the golden weapons within the show. Now, the Scythe of Quakes belongs to Cole, and as this set, as I have mentioned before, that this set is not canon to the show, you know, it's kind of awkward for it to be with Kai. You think we would have gotten, you know, Cole at least within the set, but, you know, it's perfectly fine, I think, because at one point, Kai does hold the Scythe of Quakes, so it could be like a reference to that. Nonetheless, however, the Scythe of Quakes looks perfectly fine. It's could have been better, obviously. It could have had a special mold to it to actually represent the actual Scythe of Quakes. So this is not super accurate to what's seen in the show, but I think for what it is, it's perfectly fine. It's gold. It's a scythe. It's showing, you know, it's just normal, I should say. Not perfect, but perfectly fine, I would say. Then moving on, setting that aside and moving on to the main portion, we have this little build right here, which again, the title of the set is Ninja Ambush. So with this little build here, you're supposed to see an ambush happen. Now we have a little mechanism here. So here you would have your little minifigure, and this would be the trigger for the mechanism. So whenever you hit this, it's supposed to launch your minifigure at whoever is approaching the scythe. So we can take a look at that in action here. If we put Kai right here, and let's just say we have our enemy out here approaching the scythe, you can do this. And that was a perfect demonstration of how the set is supposed to work. So the name fits it perfectly fine. It is a Ninja Ambush. The set itself, it's very small, it's compact. There's nothing crazy going on with it, which is perfectly fine, as the set only retails for, well, it did retail for $6.99 back in 2011. And if you want to get this set now, new on Bricklink, it goes for about $36. And if you want to get it used on Bricklink, it goes for about $12. And I'll show the numbers on the screen as well. But what are my thoughts on the set? So the set itself, while it's not completely accurate to the show, it's perfectly fine. You're giving 2 minifigures. You're giving a golden weapon for $6.99. I feel like that's perfectly fine for this particular set. So overall, I think if you would have gotten it back then, it would have been a great deal. If you want to get it now, especially new, I wouldn't recommend it. I think I would recommend you getting it used. If you're a Ninjago fan and you're trying to collect all the pilot sets, this is a perfectly fine set. You're not going to be too surprised by it, but for what it is, I think it's a perfectly fine set. With that being said, that's the review. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what I can improve on as a reviewer. I'm working on some lighting situations and whatnot, but I'm hopefully, you know, planning to get to the point that other people are at some point. But let me know what I can improve on in terms of reviewing. What would you like to see? Anything different, anything like that. But thank you again. Subscribe if you like what you saw. Like as well, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Thank you.